Are you tired of foreplay, feeling like a confusing chore? Do you wonder why she's not getting as turned on as you'd hoped? What if I told you there's one powerful technique ignored by most men that consistently unlocks massive arousal and mind-blowing orgasms for any woman? This isn't just theory. It's a game changer I've seen transform intimacy for thousands. Stick around, because your sex life is about to get an upgrade you never imagined. Welcome back to Stoic Love, where we strip away the fluff and give you the powerful, actionable truths you need to master your relationships and your life. Today, we're diving deep into an area that can make or break intimacy: foreplay. I'm going to give you the most effective foreplay technique for women, one that consistently works with virtually any woman. So, if you're struggling to get her truly turned on, if sex sometimes feels like it's just not quite happening for her, this will give you a reliable, fast, and incredibly powerful way to ignite her desire. Not only will this elevate her arousal, but it will also lead to significantly bigger pleasure in her genitals later, truly facilitating those deep, satisfying orgasms she craves. And as a bonus for you, my friend, you will stop hating foreplay as a boring, drawn-out chore. You will actually enjoy it more, becoming deeply present and engaged. And yes, it will turn you on just as much, if not more, than her. My journey in this field spans almost 25 years now, working as a sex coach and sex therapist, consulting with thousands of women from all walks of life, all ages, all backgrounds. And I can tell you this with absolute confidence. I have not seen a single woman for whom this technique didn't work, provided it's done with genuine intention, presence, and skill. But first, let's clear the deck. Let me explain why you should probably stop doing your current foreplay routine, because for most men, what they think is foreplay is actually missing the mark. Men typically fall into one of the following 4 common traps. And here's why they are generally not good or effective as primary foreplay techniques. 1. The typical one: going down on her, giving her oral. Now, don't get me wrong. Oral sex is incredible. It's a beautiful, intimate act that can bring immense pleasure. However, let's call it what it is. It's oral sex, not oral foreplay. Anything directed immediately to the genitals for women is already, in her body's experience, sex. She needs to be significantly aroused before you go directly for genital stimulation to truly feel good, to feel the depth of pleasure possible. Think of it this way. Her genitals are like the deepest, most sensitive layers of an onion. You don't just hack at the center. You need to peel back the layers first. Many women, when you go straight to oral, actually feel stressed, pressured, or simply don't feel as much as they could if they were properly warmed up. You can absolutely still do oral, and it's a wonderful experience for her, just not as the main initial foreplay. At best, it's good for a later stage of arousal, almost like a beautiful bridge to fingers or penetration, once her body is fully singing with desire. 2. Sensual touching of the body. Okay, this sounds promising, right? Light, sensual touches across her skin. And yes, it's nice. But often, it's just too mild, too isolated, to create the truly powerful, full-body arousal she really needs to get fully switched on. Singular, disconnected touches simply won't give her that deep, engulfing sensation. Furthermore, and this might be hard to hear, but most men's sensual touch is actually quite weak and tentative. It's either some wishy-washy, barely there brushing that does very little for her, or it's a sudden, hard grabbing that feels abrupt and non-erotic. It lacks the confident, flowing, intentional energy that truly arouses. 3. Massage, the eternal argument. Massage. We've all been told it's great for foreplay, But let's be honest, massage is fundamentally a relaxation technique. It is not an arousal technique. In many ways, it's the exact opposite of what you're trying to achieve in the initial stages of arousal. Yes, it can indirectly help her arousal, primarily because it helps her relax, and because she's not stressed that you're going to go straight for penetration. It creates safety. But as an actual, active arousal technique, it's weak. It's too long, too drawn out, and frankly, too unnatural for the raw, escalating energy of real sexual foreplay. You're trying to create a fire, not put her to sleep. 4. Mental stimulation with talk and fantasies. This one is all the rage in some circles. Just talk dirty. Tell her your fantasies. Everybody feels they've cracked the female code with this, but frankly, it often sucks. It's inconsistent. You constantly have to keep finding new, engaging, creative things to say, and it often feels like a performance. Half the time, she's already in her head, thinking about work, kids, what she needs to do tomorrow, and your mental stimulation only drives her more into her head, disconnecting her from her body. The connection from purely mental arousal to physical, bodily arousal can often be surprisingly poor for women. She might feel mentally turned on, excited by the words or ideas, but then be surprised that she's not feeling much physical pleasure in her body. This is a common disconnect, and it means you're missing the most direct, most powerful pathway to her arousal. So, now that we've cleared away the common pitfalls, here is the best way to reliably and powerfully arouse a woman through her body, which I call body-to-body flow. This technique is simple in concept, but profound in its impact. You get close to her with your whole body, and I mean your whole body. This can be done in virtually any position, spooning, facing each other, on her back, on her stomach. I'll explain more about positions later. The key is that your entire body is in contact, truly, deeply in each other. Your chest pressed against her back or front, your stomach touching hers, your whole arms wrapping around her, your hands always active on her. Your face and mouth are always caressing her, kissing her, burying into her neck or hair. And here's the magic. You move over her body. You flow over her body, not in a mechanical or rigid way, but as if you are truly enjoying her shapes, her curves, her skin, all her sexy places that you love. You are holding her, but it is a moving, flowing, caressing hold. Your hands are always on her, giving deep, present, sexual touch. Your face is always caressing her and kissing her. You're not mechanical, not just going through the motions. You genuinely enjoy all her places. Drown in them, savor them, feel how her body turns you on. Let your own desire be the fuel for this connection. This technique consistently works the best, the fastest, and is the most reliable way to powerfully arouse a woman, with some personal calibrations that I'll explain in a minute. Now, let me explain to you what is actually happening here, why this body-to-body flow technique is so incredibly powerful. It's a multi-layered approach that hits all the right notes for female arousal. 1. Massive, widespread contact. Imagine your entire body as one huge, sensitive hand, caressing her entire body. This creates a massive amount of sensations flowing into her at the same time, from her head to her toes. Compare this to just touching her with your hands, which gives you only about 2% of that sensory input at any given moment. This full body contact floods her nervous system with pleasure. 2. She feels deeply desired and sexy. When you flow over her curves, truly enjoying the unique landscape of her body, she doesn't just feel touch, she feels desired. She feels sexy, beautiful, and profoundly seen in her physicality. This is a massive, emotional turn-on for women, often more powerful than any explicit words. It's a deep validation of her attractiveness. 3. Intimacy, closeness, and feeling loved. Because of the super close contact of your bodies, there's an immense amount of intimacy and closeness. Her body feels loved, cherished, and embraced. At the same time, it's receiving a barrage of super sexy sensations. It's that magical cocktail of deep emotional connection interwoven with raw physical arousal. It builds trust and vulnerability while simultaneously building desire. 4. She feels handled in your masculinity. Women, often subconsciously, crave to feel truly handled by a man in his masculine presence. Held, guided, enveloped, claimed in a loving and confident way. This technique provides that in spades. You are leading the dance, taking her into your embrace, and that confident, masculine holding is supremely arousing for her. 5. Awakening her body directly, not mentally. This is not a mental trick or a conversation. You are directly awakening her physical body by loving it, by inhabiting it with your own. This creates a real, embodied aliveness that then powerfully facilitates deeper genital sensation and her ability to achieve orgasm. You're bringing her out of her head and fully into her senses. 6. She feels your enjoyment, not just an obligation. This is massive. She feels that you are genuinely enjoying her body, that you're not just doing a job, a chore, or foreplay as a means to an end. This is crucial because she doesn't want to feel like work for you. She wants to feel you are in it with her, deeply present, enjoying the journey as much as she is. This authentic enjoyment from you actually facilitates a tremendous amount of her own arousal. So, you see, there's no other way to arouse a woman that has all these powerful components simultaneously in one holistic combination. Now you may be thinking, is that it? Just flow over her body? In a way, yes, the core concept is that simple. But let's be aware of the mastery, the skill, and the intention that lies underneath this beautiful simplicity. Of course, it's not just flowing. In reality, this technique is a powerful bundle of many individual sexual techniques for foreplay for women. You're just combining them all together for maximum synergistic effect. So, within this body-to-body flow, you need really good, effective sexual touch with your hands. Your hands aren't just there. They're actively caressing, teasing, pressing, and exploring with purpose and sensitivity. Very good, erotic kissing on her body. Not just some annoying, quick pecks on the lips. I'm talking about deep, lingering, sensual kisses on her neck, shoulders, chest, stomach, everywhere. Good knowledge of her breasts and nipples. These will naturally be involved all the time in that full body flow, so understanding how she likes them, stimulated with your hands and mouth, is key. A solid understanding of all the erogenous zones on her curves, and crucially, knowing how to move through them, how to transition from one to another to create the best, most escalating sensation for her. Even the way your whole body makes contact, how you hold her, how you move, the subtle shifts in that flow, is a sexual technique in itself. It needs the right contact, the right pace, sometimes slow and languid, sometimes more urgent, the right strength, firm yet tender, and good, intelligent movement that doesn't feel too weird, clunky, or disconnected for her. So, you're actually using all of the premium sexual techniques for arousal here. The critical difference is you're not using them one by one, in isolation, which often makes them weak and disjointed. Instead, you're weaving all of them together simultaneously in one big power cocktail. This creates not just a massive amount of physical sensation for her, but also generates powerful emotional feelings of being held, desired, loved, enjoyed, and yes, even beautifully taken by you. This holistic approach also makes it feel incredibly natural and intuitive for you to just adore her body with everything you've got. It becomes an expression of your own deep desire. Now, as you're getting the hang of it and you're awakening your woman to this level of connection, it might take a bit longer at first as you both learn and adapt. But once you're good at it, and the woman truly opens up to the experience, I've seen so often that it can take just a few minutes to bring her to a high state of arousal. I've even worked with countless women who never truly enjoyed sex very much, finding it difficult or unsatisfying. And this technique literally opened up their entire sexual world, getting them beautifully and powerfully aroused in ways they hadn't experienced before. I've also worked with many women who found it very difficult to get aroused, often requiring a long, intricate sequence of, first you have to do this, then this, then this. With body-to-body flow, they were able to significantly shorten that process, often to just a few minutes, essentially simplifying and intensifying their arousal. Imagine what it can do for a woman who already enjoys sex, how much you can maximize and deepen her pleasure. Now, I won't lie to you, because here on Stoic Love, we value honesty above all else. There's no foreplay technique that works if it's genuinely the wrong time for her for sex. If she's completely shut down, blocked by overwhelming external problems, or if you two are in the middle of a significant conflict, no technique will magically override that. But in normal circumstances, when she's open to connection and intimacy, you will not find anything more powerful or reliable than this. You will, however, need to calibrate it to her unique preferences. Some women on some days will need it stronger, faster, more passionate, perhaps even a little more grabby or intense. Others will need a more gentle, progressive build-up that's really deeply loving and tender. And many, if not most, women need both versions, just on different days, depending on their mood, energy, and desires. The core technique at the heart is always the same. You're just adjusting the settings, the intensity, the pace, to match her perfectly. Pay attention to her body language, her sounds, her subtle cues. She will tell you what she needs. And there's one more crucial thing that you need to do to truly master this technique. Otherwise, it will stop working effectively after a short time, which I will cover in the last part of the video. This incredible way to do foreplay is something you can totally give a go yourself today. DIY, no special equipment needed. And believe me, mastering this will redefine her entire quality of sex, her orgasmicity, and powerfully influence how often she will genuinely want sex with you. Now here's the final golden rule, and it ties into the last point I mentioned. Women hate it when you find one way to arouse her and then do it forever, like a broken playlist stuck on repeat. Variety is absolutely key in sexual intimacy, but this body-to-body flow technique gives you that freedom, that endless variation built right in. Think about it. Different positions, front, back, side, standing, spooning, each creates a unique experience, a new landscape of sensation. And even within those positions, there are layers upon layers of variation, different orders of movement, different flows, and different levels of intensity. You can be slow and incredibly intimate, or wild and primal. You can focus on her back, then her chest, then her thighs, then her neck, then back to her breasts, flowing organically. Just don't be mechanical, don't be careless, don't be rigid. Done well, with presence and genuine desire, this technique always works. How to optimize your sexual energy beyond foreplay. Now, moving slightly beyond just foreplay, let's talk about something else that profoundly impacts your sexual connection and performance as a man. When it comes to age, it's true that your sex drive might naturally slow down a little, but it absolutely doesn't disappear into thin air. Most men assume that after 40 or 50, things just naturally go downhill, and they resign themselves to it. But the truth, and a key lesson from Stoic Love, is that your lifestyle habits can make a massive difference. Things like a lack of consistent exercise, chronic stress, a poor diet, inadequate sleep, and yes, even how you masturbate, can all significantly impact your erections, your desire, and your overall sexual vitality. Now, I'm not here to tell you to stop masturbating. It's a natural, healthy part of male sexuality. But I am here to tell you to do it in a way that doesn't inadvertently harm your partnered sexual performance. One major mistake men make is using what's called a death grip. That tight, vice-like grip you often instinctively use when watching intense porn. This gives you a super intense, almost hyper-stimulated sensation that is profoundly unrealistic. You're essentially training your brain and your penis to only respond to that extreme level of pressure. This means that when you're with a real woman, with natural, varied, and often gentler stimulation, you struggle to get aroused or maintain an erection because the stimulation just doesn't match up. Your brain, having been programmed for that intense grip, says, "This isn't intense enough," so it literally checks out, detaching you from the moment. That's why a lot of men experience what feels like porn-induced ED, erectile dysfunction, or delayed ejaculation, and they don't even realize the direct link to their self-stimulation habits. It's not necessarily true ED in the medical sense, but a conditioned response. Another critical issue is the speed you often go at during masturbation. Most guys go fast, incredibly fast, because it's a quick stress relief, a quick release of tension. It becomes a purely mechanical release, rather than a sensual, embodied experience. This high-speed habit programs your body, your nervous system, to finish quickly, often too quickly. This then becomes a significant problem during partnered sex, because your nervous system has been trained for sprinting, not for the long-distance running of extended, deeply connected intimacy. Now here's something most guys don't consider. A powerful technique rooted in ancient wisdom and modern understanding: edging. This is when you bring yourself extremely close to orgasm, to the very precipice, but then stop, back off, and hold that intensely pleasurable state before climax, repeating this multiple times. This isn't just a physical trick, it's a profound mental and physiological retraining. Edging actually helps rewire your brain to handle more stimulation for longer periods. It dramatically improves your control over ejaculation, and perhaps most importantly, it increases your awareness and capacity for pleasure. It's one of the best techniques to regain sensitivity and endurance, and as a bonus, it naturally boosts dopamine and testosterone, enhancing your overall vitality. Remember, your penis isn't a standalone machine. It's an integral part of a complex system that includes your brain, your emotions, your hormones, your lifestyle, and your habits. And if one part of that system is off or poorly trained, the whole system suffers, impacting your sexual health and satisfaction. That's why it's crucial to start becoming more mindful about all your habits, including how you self-stimulate. If you keep practicing with high speed, high pressure, porn-fueled routines, you're essentially training yourself for dysfunction in partnered sex. So slow down. Vary your technique, ditch the death grip, and start retraining your body and mind for real sex, for deep, connected intimacy. Because ultimately, the goal is profound connection, not just a quick release. If you're ready to master these powerful techniques, to truly elevate your intimacy and connection, and become the man who deeply satisfies his woman, make sure you hit that subscribe button to Stoic Love. We're here to turn ancient philosophy into modern masculine power, guiding you to a life of purpose, passion, and profound connection. Join the Stoic Love community. Share your insights, ask your questions, and let's continue to build a brotherhood of men committed to genuine strength and authentic connection. This isn't just about better sex. It's about a better, more connected, more fulfilling life. And I'm here to walk that path with you. See you in the next one.